Welcome to UM6P Associates Digital Meeting, where we will talk about the UM6P Associates Network. We will start with a discussion with our president, Mr. Hisham Al-Habti, where we'll get into the story of the UM6P, its mission, and what the UM6P stands for. Then we'll move to a discussion with Khalid Baddou, Chief of Staff and Director of Institutional Affairs, when we will get into the implementation of UM6P Associates and what the UM6P Associates actually is. Finally, we'll have a panel discussion with colleagues of mine who have made the choice of coming back to Morocco after many years of living abroad. We will talk about how is it like to work abroad, to live abroad, how is it like to do research and work at the UM6P, and finally to come back to Morocco after so many years. Mr. President.
Tarek.
Happy to have you here.
Thank you.
So, Mr. President, I'd like to ask you a few questions about the university. UM6P, it's a very ambitious project.
Yeah.
And so could you tell us a little bit about the story of the university, how that came to be, and what's the mission of the university?
So just to put it in context, in January 2017, the King inaugurated the campus of UM6P here in Ben Guerir. The idea at the time was to give the opportunity to all African, not just Moroccan, to have access to a platform of research, development, and innovation to produce technologies in link with the challenges that Africa is facing. It was exactly the idea behind UM6P. After 7 years from this inauguration date, UM6P had exponential growth. As now we are more than 300 permanent faculty, more than 700 PhD students, and about 5,700 students. What is specific about UM6P is the ability to work and to focus on developing technologies in different areas. So we are a comprehensive university. So from science technology to the governance to the business and management with a medical school. The idea here is how to work on technologies that will enable all Africa to face different challenges. Food security, the health, the education, the policy making, and so on and so forth.
Okay. That's very interesting because I come from abroad, and from my perspective, when I was abroad, I thought that the UM6P only worked with OCP problems. So what you're saying is basically it's not the case. It's a general university. And
no, it's a comprehensive university. Yeah. We have a founder and a funder who is OCP Group, but we are a full-fledged university. So we are working with other partners, with our institution. We have curriculum in different areas without any direct link with OCP Group.
Okay. So before we go and talk about the UM6P Associates, which is the what we're here to talk about, I would like to talk a little bit about the campus, because this is, to me, the most impressive thing and what really impressed me when I arrived at the UM6P. But what's really impressive, and I wasn't expecting that, is the speed at which the UM6P is growing. So what's the secret behind that?
So there is one secret. The secret is we have in mind one greater purpose. So we are really purpose driven. So we have in mind that we should propose the campus, the facilities, the equipment to be able to attract students, researchers, and partners. And we had the opportunity in Rabat to build the campus in about 8 months and a half, 9 months. And we did it. And from this, we could build what we have here, for instance, in Ben Guerir, in 10 months. So this is the challenge. Are we able to do that? But the real recipe, for me, the real secret, is the fact that we are really purpose-driven. So this is when we wake up in the morning we should look at ourselves with the eyes of 2030, how UM6P should look like. And once we have this, everything gets easier.
Yeah, so this is how you tripled the size.
Exactly. So
in less than 2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Exactly.
it's very impressive. Yeah, so let's talk about UMCSP Associates and what's the idea behind UMCSP Associates?
It's from day one, UM6P started as an open university, full-fledged, but open university with the partnership from day one. So, and the first partner was from Europe and from the US. So our idea is to be an open university, open to partnership here and there. But we believe in something which is very specific, I think, to Morocco, perhaps to other countries, but to Morocco we are really sure that we have something with the Moroccan diaspora, and that the Moroccan diaspora is eager to contribute with a way or another to the development of Morocco. So the UM6P Associates is an invitation to all the Moroccan diaspora, and even beyond the African diaspora, to give them the opportunity to give back to Morocco or to Africa. They have to choose the way they want to do that, but UM6P Associates, it's a platform for them to give a life to their ideas, their wishes, because there are a lot of that just wants to work on some project for Moroccan youth, for African youth, from the development of their communities, for the development of technologies, for to tackle what Morocco, for instance, is facing as a matter of drought. So UM6P Associates is just this platform.
Okay, I see. So UM6P Associates is broad. So from what I understand, it's researchers, it's PhDs, it's postdoc, but it's also entrepreneurs, people who are more socially driven also who like to. So how this idea came about of having UM6P Associates?
Yeah, so it was somewhere in the DNA of UM6P, as I say, and the idea came at its maturity. It was a few years ago, I think 2 or 3 years ago. Said, we have a lot of interactions with individual Moroccan diaspora, especially in the area of the research. But you're right. We are not just researcher focus. It's entrepreneurs, social workers, and others. And it was a lot of one-to-one connection. And at some point, he said, I think this is the time to build a platform and to bring all these great energies, PhD students, researchers, social workers, entrepreneurs, and to offer them the opportunity to realize their dreams, their wishes.
Yes, because I can testify that this is true, and I think you're absolutely right when you say that Morocco is very lucky to have a diaspora that really wants to give back to the country. So, how do you see these collaborations growing in the future?
As I said, we have even in our faculty body at UM6P, we have more than 40% of our faculty who are Moroccan diaspora. So people who left Morocco a few years ago to do their PhD, like yourself, and at some point they decided to come back to Morocco. So this is number one. Number two is, as I said, we have many one-to-one partnership with the Moroccan diaspora in different areas. And now our aim is, there are millions of Moroccan abroad, is to bring as many as possible. We have to pay attention to the quality of what we are proposing, the quality of the platform. But the idea here is now to industrialize this way of interacting with the Moroccan diaspora in different areas.
I see. So let's say I'm a Moroccan entrepreneur or a Moroccan, I just finished my postdoc. And I'm very interested in knowing more about UM6P. So what can I expect from UM6P Associates?
So what you could expect for UM6P Associates is, they will open the doors of UM6P now is it's a huge university with a lot of campuses, with a lot of divisions, with a lot of faculty, and and so on and so forth. So the first thing is, just to understand what's happening. What's the vision? What's the mission? What's the purpose? What are the research projects we are working on? What are the social projects we are working on? And so just first of all is having like a maverick within the university, just to open the doors and to meet with people. Second is, one, you decide to join the university with a way or another. It's not just to come for a permanent position. You want to stay abroad and to help hosting PhD students if you're researchers, or to mentor a startup if you are entrepreneurs. Just the link between what's happening and the person interested, this UM6P Associates interested in that. So the link will be this platform, UM6P Associates.
Yes. And there's also UM6P has branches abroad too.
Yeah.
So UM6P in France, Canada.
Canada, exactly.
Yeah.
So the idea is, through these branches is to be close. So to UM6P France is working on Europe. UM6P Canada now it's just started few days ago. So in Canada, and why not north of the US, next to the Canadian borders. The idea is to be really close to the African diaspora, the Moroccan diaspora there, and to play another layer of this in between UM6P and the associates.
Okay. So my last question is, how is it to build a state-of-the-art university for the first time?
Great question. So you have to, someone, it was yesterday, asked me about exactly the same question. The idea is just the greater purpose, as I said. So what we are working on is, it's beyond our expectations. So we know that this is a huge project, but we are really lucky and blessed to work on something like that. So once you have that in mind, when you have that in your body, everything goes easy.
Yes, I agree. I totally agree. And I think you said a very important word, which is we are lucky. We are lucky to be here. We are lucky to be able to build that university, to see a university. I'm not building it.
You are.
I get to see it. I think it's a privilege to be able to participate in the building of a state-of-the-art university from the ground up.
Exactly. I do agree.
Thank you, Mr. President. So I'll leave you for a short break with a video introducing the mission, the values, and the capabilities of the UM6P.
In the heart of a continent brimming with opportunities, the University Mohammed VI Polytechnic, UM6P, aspires to establish itself as a hub of innovation and excellence. Rooted in the unique wealth and challenges of Africa, our institution embodies a forward-thinking vision of education, dedicated to applied research and innovation, with a steadfast focus on Africa's future. Our journey is one of boundless ambition, to prepare tomorrow's leaders, capable of turning the continent's complex challenges into opportunities for growth and sustainable development. Through a cutting-edge pedagogical approach, we embrace innovation and learning by doing, providing our students with the tools for a bright future. UM6P stands on the pillars of academic excellence, interdisciplinarity, and a commitment to entrepreneurship. Our goal: to act as a catalyst for change by shaping individuals who can actively contribute to the socio-economic development of Africa and beyond. Our public missions reflect our deep commitment to community well-being. By focusing on key areas such as health, education, and the environment, we aim to deliver concrete and lasting solutions to the most pressing issues. Recognizing the immense value of African diasporas, we strive to create bridges of knowledge and exchange. These communities, with their diverse experiences and skills, play a crucial role in forming a global network of knowledge, thus enriching our vision and amplifying our impact. Join the movement of those building the future. Click, apply, and join the movement.
Welcome back to our second session. We have with us Mr. Khalid Baddou, Chief of Staff and Director of Institutional Affairs. Khalid, can you talk to us a little bit more about what UMCHP Associates is?
UM6P Associates is an initiative that was launched by UM6P, considering all the connections and the relationships we have with the Moroccan of the world. We call it the Moroccan diaspora to make it simple, but it's the Moroccans' competencies all around the world. Since the creation of the university back in 2017-18, we started creating relationships and building relationships with the Moroccan diaspora all around the world. You know that today, from the 240 professors we have at UM6P, about 80% come from the Moroccan diaspora. They were the very first ones to hear the message of UM6P and to connect and to relate, because somewhere in their minds they have this idea of coming back to the country and giving back to the country and serving a project, which is the project of UM6P. And we took this opportunity to connect with them, to build relationships. It was done in a very informal way at the beginning, but then we realized that there is opportunity to create a platform in which this community can gather around UM6P. We called it UM6P Associates. Why Associates? Because it's not something that's we don't want it to be something formal in which there is a structured way to connect with UM6P. So the association can be made through different ways. It can be done through contributing by online from distance. It can be contributing by coming to the university, but let's say the most concrete way of contributing is to join the UM6P and be part of the community. So this is how the idea have started. We started organizing roadshows with the chairman of the group, with the president of the university, and we found that the feedback was really very positive, a good dynamic that was created, curiosity also, and we've decided back in 2019 to launch this initiative. And based on this, these roadshows that we organized, we had connections with the individuals, but also with organizations representing the Moroccan diaspora all around the world. And afterwards, it's become something that's really part of the DNA of the university, structured and endorsed by the Office of the President, to make sure that this is something really institutional, and that this will be something that will not be just event-based, but a platform in which there are different activities throughout the year, virtual initiatives, but also physical initiatives that we organize with the members of the Moroccan diaspora.
Okay, I love the idea of the roadshow. Can you talk to us a little bit? Just tell us what a roadshow is, and how do you implement these roadshows?
UM6P, started being or triggering curiosity from people around the world. They hear about this university in Morocco, in Africa, that's starting to become like the Silicon Valley or the MIT of Africa and of Morocco. So it was really interesting to hear the feedback, and we started feeling that through the social media and the different conversations we have with the members of the Moroccan diaspora all around the world. So, but we realize also that the best connection we can have with this community is to go meet them in different countries and talk to them and hear also their feedbacks and what they see from UM6P. And I can tell you that from 2019, where we started this roadshow or the organization of those different events in different countries, we saw also the development of the reputation of UM6P. In 2018-19, when we meet this community, it was like, okay, we heard about something happening in Morocco, tell us more about it. So it was more about sharing, trying to convince and selling, let's say, the vision and the objectives of UM6P. Last year, 23-24, when we started continued doing these visits, we understood that there is something that happened. So the message of the university was heard, the ambition of the university was understood, and the interest was becoming more and more, growing from the diaspora. So technically, a roadshow is a visit that we organize, an event that we organize in a country. We try to select the ones where there is a good implementation of Moroccan communities. So we started by Paris, for logical reasons, then Lausanne, then Montreal, then Boston recently, and other countries. So every time we come for 2-3 hours, we invite members of the community, of course, selected or pre-selected members of the diaspora, based on their competencies. They can be working in science, in technologies, in universities, or in companies. We invite them, they join. We just have the chairman and the president presenting the vision of the group and of UM6P and hearing from them. And I can tell you that many ideas that even the idea of creating UM6P Associates came from the feedback we had from the community. It's not a top-down decision, but it's something that came from a bottom-up. And this is why we see that there is interest and there are connections that we are continuing to build with the diaspora all around the world.
Okay, that's great. Let's say I'm a researcher. I'm a Moroccan researcher, and I'd like to join UM6P Associates. So I'm affiliated to a university, doing research. I have my group, I have my students. How can I join, and what can I expect once I've joined UM6P Associates?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, this is what we call the value proposition of UM6P Associates. So, of course, when we go talk to this community, we are not going to ask them for something. We just tell them, this is who we are, this is what we are doing. Tell us how you see your contribution in this project. This is a project for Morocco and for Africa. You are Moroccans, you are coming from Moroccan or African origins. How can you contribute to this project? So, and we let them tell us how they can participate in a way or another in the projects of UM6P. So, but of course, we have identified several, activities in which they can contribute. The very basic one is to be part of our database, to receive our communications, to share with us feedback, to share with us proposals, to come visit the university, learn about its ecosystem, and let's say be an ambassador for UM6P, talk around about the university, etc. So this is let's say this is an entry level of contribution to UM6P Associates. Another level would be an affiliation, for example. So a professor in a university, he or she can have his project where they are working in their university, but they can come and give courses here at UM6P. We have that from different professors in the medical science, in computer science, etc. And it was, let's say, interesting to see the interaction they had with the students. I mean, they are coming with different background, with different, let's say it's been, for example, 20, 30 years that they have left Morocco. So they are coming to discover something new, something different, a very interesting context, let's say, which is UM6P. And from this interaction, we learn a lot in which we can build what we do in terms of education or in terms of research. Then another level of contribution will be through mentorship, for example. So many of them who are in the entrepreneurial field, for example, they have a startup project that they would like to incubate or to contribute with at UM6P, or they would like to mentor startups from UM6P or people who idea holders from UM6P ecosystem, and through that they can share their experience, they can mentor them, they can open some doors to them abroad, which is also interesting because it gives another perspective to our idea holders or to our students. And let's say the fourth level, which is joining the university. So many of them, they start by, let's say, an idea of affiliation, just to get to know each other better, and based on that, they decide to join UM6P. And we have people in those different tracks. So we try to make sure that first they are, they have, let's say, the appropriate environment where to share their experience, but also that they can fulfill this, let's say, this give back opportunities they would like to do for Morocco and for Africa.
Yes. So there's something that you mentioned that I find very interesting. You mentioned mentoring. And so mentoring can be for startups, but there's also mentoring for PhD students, for postdocs, and so is this something that's a possibility?
Of course. Okay. There is this possibility. Let's say the easiest way is to have some PhD students from UM6P working with some of the diaspora members in the research project, but it can be done also through mentorship, through having them visiting their laboratories in their universities, and opening their eyes into another experience, maybe in Oxford, in MIT, or in Harvard, or in EPFL, for example. And this is something that starts already happening. So again, we are at the starting blocks of this initiative. So we are trying to learn or to make the mechanisms work. But we see already some, let's say, good success stories that are happening, and we are really proud to have members of the diaspora contributing to that.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I can testify to that. So exchanges, sending students abroad, getting students here, sharing knowledge basically across the world. And there's one thing that's very important, I think, both for researchers and entrepreneurs, and it's the facilities and what's available when it comes to tech, because a researcher without tech is not a researcher, especially like if we're working in biology or physics. You need these very expensive equipment, and the same thing for entrepreneurs. So can you tell us a little bit about what the UMCSP can offer when it comes to this type of technology?
Yeah, you know that UM6P today, and you have this. You practice that certainly in your experience with UM6P. We are proud to be a university that has the most sophisticated equipment in terms of research and technology, either at the different departments that we are hosting, geology, mining, agriculture, medical science, etc., but also as a platform that we call today the Core Lab, which is a facility that's at the service of the researchers that can help them in doing high-level research with high-level materials. So this is something we have been investing on, that we are proposing, of course, to our research community, but also through research collaborations that we can have with different universities around the world. So I invite all the diaspora members who are interested to come and visit and see with their own eyes how UM6P is handling research. It's let's say it's not, of course, it's not only about the means, but it's also about what we make out of this research. So as you certainly know, research at UM6P does not happen only in the laboratories, but it happens also in the living labs. For example, for the agricultural department, we have an experimental farm that's more than 110 hectares that is dedicated to research in terms of agriculture. So every PhD student, every researcher has his or her own piece of land where they can not only practice the research inside the laboratory, but they practice the results of their research on the ground. They experiment it on the ground, on the field. Same thing for the experimental mine, same thing for the green energy park. So almost 10 hectares dedicated to producing solar energy for UM6P, but also to doing research in terms of new technologies of renewable energies. Okay. So all these facilities around the university campus and in different areas in Morocco are here to serve the objective of the research. So if there is a solid research project, it can be presented, shared with our research committees. Once it's valid, of course, we have the right, the appropriate financing to support the emergence of this research, but also we have the infrastructure behind. We offer also to researchers a certain amount of money, depending on the level of their, let's say, professional career and the nature of the project they are proposing. So, besides the research projects that are under contract, that we have in contract with the different industries, we offer them a budget that they can use for a project of their own, which is not certainly linked to a research contract. So somebody from anywhere in the world with a solid research project can join UM6P with the relevant competencies, of course. He or she can benefit from this fund to make his or her research project happen. So this is what we do, not only for the diaspora, but also from all the researchers from around the world, but with a specific attention to members of the Moroccan competencies from all around the world.
I see. So that would be like a startup fund that's given to someone that starts his lab, for example.
Exactly, yes. Exactly. A kind of seed money to create a research lab or to develop a research project, to hire, to equip, if the equipment doesn't exist already at UM6P, to hire PhD students who have a very interesting remuneration, let's say, to make sure that they will be dedicated to research only. This is a message also for PhD students from Moroccan PhD students from all around the world who would like to join UM6P. We remunerate our PhD students to make sure that they have the appropriate living conditions in which they can focus only on research. It's also for professors and for researchers. They can also benefit from the seed money to make sure that this project will develop.
Okay. That's very interesting. And one thing I'd like to mention is that UM6P doesn't have only one campus in Ben Guerir.
Yeah.
So there are several campuses. There's a campus in Laayoune, there's a campus in Rabat. And these campuses, for example, the campus of Laayoune also offers other facilities that the campus of Ben Guerir doesn't have. For example, it's close to the sea.
Exactly. Thank you, Tarek, for bringing this question, because the Center of Laayoune is dedicated to sustainable agriculture, but not only, because in sustainable agriculture, you know that the Laayoune is in the desert, so it's very close to the soil of the sub-Saharan African countries. So which means the same problematics in terms of soil salinity, in terms of water availability, in terms of also the lack of rain, for example. So all these are problematics of Africa, sub-Saharan Africa mainly. So we did this research center in Laayoune to bring solutions to sub-Saharan Africa. And of course, it's about agriculture, but it's also about animal reproduction, camel reproduction mainly. It's about algae also. So all what can Laayoune as a platform of research can offer is something that could be of interest. And we are really happy to have some Moroccans who came from Middle East mainly, who have been working in high-level research institutes in the Middle East, who joined us because they understood that we are doing something that's really at the standard of international research institutes.
Yes. So I have my biases. So I'm a computer scientist working on biology, but I'm still a computer scientist. And one of the things that convinced me to join the UM6P is the HPC, the high performance computing. So can you tell us a little bit about how big this high performance computer is?
Thank you for bringing the question. In fact, because the UM6P has in its ecosystem the largest data center in Morocco today and the most powerful supercalculator in Africa. So I'm not going to tell you what a supercalculator is, but very briefly, it's a machine that can do a huge number of calculations per second. So in hours, it's 3.15 petaflops, so million of operations per second, which means that you can do there in terms of simulations and in terms of experimentation, something that can take 6 months to 1 year, you can do it in, let's say, 15 minutes, sometimes 2 hours, 3 hours, or few days. So which means that the time that you save in doing research through the high performance computing is just huge. We're not yet at the quantum computer. Maybe we'll reach there sometime very soon. But this HPC is one of its kind in Africa. It brings Morocco also in the forefront of the countries with the highest technology. So we are the 26th country in the world having such a supercalculator, supercomputer. And this is something that we put to the service of research in genomics, in industry also. That for an automobile company, for example, to produce a car, they need to do crash test. So you need to build 100 of cars to crash them against a wall and then to see with captures how this, if they are solid or not, and what you need to improve in terms of the security of the car before producing the final product. But with a supercalculator, you can do these simulations, through the machine, and then you can have all the data with that, and then you can produce few cars to test it on the ground. So this is what a researcher, high-level researcher looks for. Facilities that will help him or her in implementing solutions very fast, but also in a very efficient way. So yes, we are proud to have this as part of our ecosystem, and this is also something that we encourage researchers to use, and that could be also attractive for other ones.
Yeah, it is attractive. At least it is to me.
Perfect. We have the proof then.
Yeah, exactly. And this is something that's available to to collaborators also. So you don't have to be affiliated to UM6P, you can collaborate and have access to these resources.
Yeah, it's something that's open for the Moroccan universities, of course. We are in Morocco, for the African universities and for other international universities as part of collaboration research projects that in which UM6P or other partners can be part of.
Yes, and there's also the startup facilities that are expanding. They're expanding currently at on the campus of UM6P. So can you tell us a little bit about what's going on there?
Yeah, so we have today what we call our StartGate. StartGate, our startup campus, in which we have different types of programs that go from the ideation part until the venture capital. So somebody, a student or a researcher or an external person who have a startup idea or an innovative idea, would like to evaluate if it's valid to be implemented as a startup, they can go through this program and they can be supported. So we have today up almost 800 idea holders who went through UM6P startup ecosystem, considering that there have been 2 years of COVID. So anyway, so we can say officially that in the past 2 years only, from 22 to 24, we started this activity in a very formal way. We have support also from different partners like Plug and Play, like Mass Challenge, with whom we have contributed in the past. So we are trying to acquire or to do capacity building through different partners from all around the world who can have this, who can support our startup ecosystem. And of course, we have our venture capitals that can help in accelerating those startup projects, or even that can, sometimes acquire total part of it if they are at a certain level of maturity. So this is regarding the, let's say, early stage to medium stage TRLs, and then we have advanced TRLs, so which means the technology readiness level of projects, where we have another subsidiary of the university, which is Innovix. Innovix is a company that's a subsidiary of the university, and that takes contributions or invests or buy IPs or solutions from companies at a certain level of maturity that's ready to go for industrialization. That could be in hydrogen, that could be fluor, that could be in uranium, etc., in different topics. So we have, let's say, the funnel, all the stages of the funnel that can help a startup start from an ideation till, as I mentioned, venture capital. And of course, this is something that we put to the service, of course, of the members of the UM6P associates and the diaspora in general.
Okay, so that's great. So it goes from pre-seed, just even like the idea stage, to get to market.
Exactly.
Basically. And of course, like all these startups and all these companies have access to everything on the UM6P campus. They have access to the researchers, they have access to the facilities, they have access to basically the whole ecosystem.
Exactly. So today, and this is, you use the right word, it's an ecosystem. It's a university, but it's a whole ecosystem around it. So we have the three components that are education, and of course within education you have also continuous education, so they can benefit from that. You have research and applied research, let's say, research related to industry needs. And you have the startup ecosystem and the innovation ecosystem. And when you gather those three in the same area, so there you have hopefully the Ben Guerir Valley, which will be the Africa Valley, hopefully for the future. And you can add to that, let's say la cerise sur le gâteau, the international branches of UM6P, UM6P France and UM6P Canada, that are already that the presidents have mentioned earlier, who are there to open new doors and new perspectives to this ecosystem, to those startups. So either in Paris, so all European ecosystem is open. We connect to the European ecosystem. In Montreal, all the Canadian one, but also the North American in general. And hopefully there will be some other branches very soon. So we make sure that all the chances are put or are given to those idea holders to make sure that their ideas come to life and also be impactful to Morocco and to Africa.
That was actually my last question. My last question is about how these different branches play a role in the whole of the UM6P. So, for example, let's say I'm an entrepreneur, or I'm a researcher, or I'm a postdoc, or I'm a student who wants to do a PhD at the UM6P. So, what should I do? Just knock at the door of UM6P Montreal, for example?
Yes, you can do that. it's two ways. I mean, either we connect with you or you connect with us. The offices will be open in Paris. The offices are already open in the center of Paris, au 16e. In Montreal, very soon we'll have offices. And the idea is to have platform. I mean, those branches will be organizing events dedicated to the UM6P associates and to the diaspora in general. So you can join those events, you can connect and go and knock the door, send email very simply to meet our colleagues there. And we made sure to have colleagues who are really specialized by topics. So we have a person, for example, in Paris office who is dedicated to research, a person that is dedicated to innovation and to entrepreneurship, another person dedicated to education and executive education. So we have appropriate counterparts in which anybody with a project, with an idea can connect with, and they are really very, I mean, their mandate is to be also very visible to the ecosystem. So, I mean, anybody who has something interesting can go meet them and they will be happy to help.
Thank you, Khalid, for this enriching discussion about UM6P Associates. And now I'll leave you with the short documentary, UM6P Associates in Action.
Africa, the cradle of humanity, stands today as a land of unparalleled opportunities. With its fertile lands, dynamic youth, and spirit of innovation, it offers a fertile ground for entrepreneurship, technology, science, and culture. At the heart of this vibrant continent, UM6P embodies the avant-garde of academic excellence, research, and innovation. We are committed to propelling Africa to unprecedented heights of development and self-sufficiency in key areas such as food, technology, and digital services. We are building bridges to place African youth at the forefront of opportunities, turning hope into action. Engage African diasporas in the upward movement of our continent. The time for action is now. Africa invites you to seize the opportunities it holds. UM6P is at the center of this transformation, a catalyst for opportunities for those ready to invest, innovate, and contribute to Africa's radiance. We offer a platform where ideas become reality, where research meets practical application to address the continent's challenges. The African diaspora, with its wealth of knowledge and international experiences, plays a crucial role. We call on you to actively participate in this momentum, to contribute to the edifice of a flourishing and resilient Africa. UM6P is not just an institution, it is a vibrant ecosystem where tomorrow's leaders are forged, where every contribution feeds the great African dream. We are living proof that Africa is a place of limitless possibilities, a playground for those who dare to dream and act. Join us. Be part of those shaping the future of Africa. UM6P is your gateway to a rising continent. Seize this chance to make history. Together, let's elevate Africa to new horizons.
Zinab,
Hi, Tarek.
nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
So could you introduce yourself very quickly and tell us a little bit more about where you come from and your research?
Right. I'm Zinab Rashid. I'm an assistant professor of genomics at the Faculty of Medical Sciences. I did my engineering degree in biotechnology at Al Akhoun University, and then I moved to Gauss University where I did a PhD in biosciences in host pathogen interactions. And then I did a couple of postdocs at Institut Cochin in Paris, and then at LSTM, between LSTM in Liverpool and Gauss University. And starting from January 2020, I joined UM6P. Today I'm a faculty at UM6P. I do teach molecular biology, epidemiology, and microbiology to medical students and nursing students. And I do research on genomic surveillance and stratified medicine or personalized medicine with a specific scope on genomic surveillance.
Okay, that's very interesting. Yeah, so let's continue with the other guests. So could you also please introduce yourself?
Yeah. Thank you, Tarek. My name is Mustafa Ben Zazour. Donc, I'm professor here at UM6P, let's say since 2022, permanently. Before I was acting as collaborator here at UM6P. I have a PhD in geosciences and environment. I did, let's say, whole of my career, more than 25 years at University of Quebec in Abitibi-Témiscamingue in Canada. My specialty is mining and sustainable, in particular sustainable mining. I'm specialized in applied mineralogy, applied geochemistry, trying to apply this to let's say the whole component of the mine. That's mean exploration, mining, extraction, mineral processing, and waste management, mine closure, mine reclamation, mine site reclamation. I'm directing the GSMI, which is the Geology Sustainable Mining Institute, a department that started in 2022. Now we are almost 120 members. Half of them are PhD students.
That's good.
Different area.
Yes,
Yeah.
different.
Quite different.
Quite different.
Yes, it's quite different. So, see Karim.
Yes. So Karim Shifel. So I am actually, I am from not far away from Bengri here. So I'm from Marrakesh. So I did my master's. At that time it was the last promotion of DESA. So that's the equivalent of master's in Rabat. It was from the very beginning about neuroscience, hard neuroscience basically, both fundamental and clinical translational. So then I did my PhD in Lyon. So that's where I started basically my journey, and from the very start I focused mainly on sleep, the biology of sleep, from both its fundamental aspects and translation aspects. So when I say translational, basically all sleep problems related to pathologies such as neurodegenerative diseases, addiction-related disorders. And then I moved to Netherlands, where I did my first postdoc, my basically only postdoc, and then but that was pretty long, so it's 4 years, and then there I did that in Leiden University Medical Center, where again I continued basically the same thing. It was a kind of a follow-up project related to basically the same axis of research, basically sleep, again from fundamental and translational aspects, and then I moved on as a researcher to Tsukuba University. This is in Japan, the other side of the world. Yeah, it was a really nice experience. So there I worked.
Another culture.
Yeah, completely different thing.
Another
It's
culture.
a really very. I think that's the most what I learned there. It's it's not even science. It's really different perspectives, different way of looking at things. So there basically, as I said again, I continued doing the same thing, and then basically from there then a degree actually called us back to my own country, and then here I am. I'm affiliated with the FMS, like Zainab. So I basically teach there for both medical medical student pharmacy students there, and I'm also continuing basically the same line of research. So basically again sleep, both in clinical and fundamental aspects. That's basically my research journey, and yeah.
That's very interesting.
Exactly, yeah.
Very unusual too.
Yeah.
Very unusual. It's very interesting.
What about you, Sitan?
Me. So my name is Taras Deuda. So I started my university studies in France, where I did a master's in mathematics and computer science, and then I moved to Canada for my master's. I did a master's in machine learning and deep learning applied to music. So my master is on music, and then I moved to. I still stay in Canada. I moved to a different institute. I was during my master's. I was affiliated to the Department of Computer Science. It's called the DIRO, Université of Montréal, Département d'informatique et de recherche opérationnelle. That's where I did my master's, and then I moved to the IREC, which is the Institute for Research in Immunology and Cancer, which is basically next door. And this is where I started working on biology and applying AI, machine learning, deep learning to mostly the immune system, the adaptive immune system. So that started my career in bioinformatics. So this is how I got my PhD in bioinformatics. And then for my postdoc, I moved to Boston, where I was affiliated to Harvard Medical School, the Broad Institute, and through the MGH also Mass General. And there I worked on, still on AI, applied to single cell sequencing, because now we can sequence cells one by one. So the idea, Geneviève knows about that. So the idea is how we can apply these novel AI techniques, deep learning techniques, to basically better integrate different modalities of sequencing. So that was my postdoc, and then I joined here, the Faculty of Medical Sciences, where I teach, I supervise students, and also teach data science and AI to medicine and pharma students. So
That's really interesting.
How is it to build a lab and then we do the same in the same order?
Very satisfying, very rewarding, to say the truth. When I came to Morocco, I found that I needed to have a much more important impact to
that's the
build
thing.
that part. It was not like everything was pre-established.
Exactly, because
That's the thing.
all the structures we work in are very, very new.
Yeah.
So I know that I joined before the FMS was created.
I did too.
So,
I did too. I joined in 2020.
Exactly, right before the FMS was
Exactly.
created.
Yes,
Exactly.
Exactly.
So this is what I want to talk about, was the experience of building. It's not just, maybe lab is not the right word, because everybody
It's the
builds
system.
lab.
No,
It's
the whole
bigger
system.
than that.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's the whole system.
Yes.
It's defining the need of the community, because you're not the only one who's going to use the lab. It's also learning to deal with the community of different players in the market. You have to deal with the providers. You have to deal with multiple components. So it was not easy, but it was very rewarding. And at the end, when you accomplish something that's going to be used by others, researchers, colleagues and students, it's extremely rewarding, especially if it's multidisciplinary. That's very interesting. When you work on something that's not going to serve your own purpose alone, when it's going to serve others from different backgrounds.
Yes, this is true. So building foundations.
Exactly.
I think it's more accurate than saying building labs.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Same thing with programs.
That's actually what I was referring to when I talked a little bit, maybe a little bit in more abstract ways, but that's exactly what I meant by saying the mindset and the culture in the M6P. For me, M6P, it's exactly this. So you want to do something that is foreign to the place where M6P is.
Yeah, it's a bubble.
Yeah, it's a little bubble.
It is.
It's a little bubble. So
A
the
bit.
little bubble here,
It's
if
a
you want to
bubble.
create the little bubble, there's a lot of challenges for sure. So the builders, they have to endure the whole challenges. But then the idea is to create indeed this environment so that the others will be attracted naturally to the place.
There's one important thing, is that it's a bubble, but it's an open bubble.
Yeah.
We're not just by ourselves.
Right.
No, exactly.
We want more people to join us
Exactly.
and grow this
Exactly.
this bubble.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
It's a fruit that will be collected maybe years from now.
Yes.
And those fruits, maybe we don't even know how it will be, but we are participating in it, and then hopefully we have a vision. So a vision, we are looking at the vision, and then
It's bigger than
exactly.
It's a bubble in a positive way, in a very positive way. Actually, we're seen as an exception in our environment, I think, because we're also gaining much more interest from the community within Morocco. A lot of institutions want to work with the UM6P.
Exactly.
A lot of renowned scientists want to join UM6P, as well as students. We can attract international students. We're also becoming, we're also reaching that positioning of UM6P within the African continent as well. So it's not negative to say that it is a bubble. It is an open bubble, but it's a bubble in the positive sense.
Yeah, but everything new has to be a bubble first.
Exactly. Exactly. It's a microsystem first.
Yeah.
Then it grows.
Exactly. And I think we're going in the right way, and you can see it because we're becoming more and more attractive for PhD students.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, and this is a great metric, I think.
Here in Morocco, we
Yes.
have a very good potential.
Yes.
In terms
Yes.
of PhD students.
yes.
Exactly.
Maybe
Very
not
potential.
in terms of postdoc, but in PhD
Will
student,
come.
they have generally they have a very good background.
Yes.
Student coming
Exactly.
from some schools here in Morocco, some universities.
Yes.
have very
Exactly.
good.
No, there's raw matter is there.
Very
for
good
sure.
background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, this is absolutely true. Yes,
Yeah.
I noticed that. People from abroad, they ask me like, how do you get your
Yes,
students?
of course. Yes,
We have great
also-
students.
This is a
for-
sign of
yes.
of-
I'm
Yes.
always
Going to the right
helping
way.
my
Exactly.
previous
can't
collaborator
Yeah, yeah,
to
exactly.
catch students from Morocco.
Yes.
Hey,
Exactly.
Mustafa, can you tell us how? Yes, that's right.
Yes, we have great PhD students.
Yeah, exactly.
And talking about the environment, research environment,
Yes.
and,
And building the mining also.
and
yes, the
building,
mining,
yeah. I think I knew the UM6P in 2018, and now I can say that we cross maybe huge, huge
Yeah, exactly.
steps. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yes.
it's more easy to manage lab because the management is another thing. I was a good scientist, but coming here, I had to become a good
Manager.
manager. Yeah.
How do you manage 120 lab members? That's scary.
Yeah.
The number is scary.
Yes. It's I have some support from HR. I'm having some coaching to help me to become a good manager. I was a manager, but becoming a good manager, I think it's a hard task, and you have to learn. It's not among what I learned, what I did in mining and geology, and it's good. This coaching results are here.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a learning process,
Yeah.
like many things that we do that we're not trained to do.
Exactly. But this is something you never trained to do during your research curriculum.
Yes.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
never trained to
You
manage.
can do it at
Yes.
small scale,
Exactly, yeah.
with the team,
With
with
the team, exactly.
three, 4 people, but
Yes.
Exactly.
managing,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Managing a lab and also like having set up in the ground up
Yeah.
foundations for basically everything to flourish and getting these great publications
Yes.
that
Yeah.
that Morocco deserves.
Exactly.
Yes. And so when it comes to the acquisition of material and so are there any challenges? Is it getting better? Is it getting worse?
It's getting better. Definitely
Yeah,
getting better.
it's really nice. It's
Yes.
really getting better
It's getting
for
better.
sure. Yeah, there was some difficulties in the beginning, but as I said again, it's really intrinsic to starting up new stuff. So, but
Yes.
it's now very smooth, very straightforward. It's really, it's really nice.
Since people are not in a kind of course of acquisition, material acquisition, you know, you need one equipment. First, it's not your equipment, and you are responsible that this equipment can be used by the whole community.
Exactly.
So once this very well learned, maybe the rest is
It's a
become-
mindset.
It's
It's
a
a
mindset,
mindset as
yes.
well.
Do you have that at UMCSP?
Yes.
I think we are really
I can
blessed.
show you. I can take you all in a, and that's the thing that I'm
Yes.
very proud about. Defining the need
Yes.
for UM6P researchers, for the community, for Morocco, and being able to discuss the prices and to make the
Exactly.
installation, to train the human resources. That's
And
what
the
I
people who
meant.
can
That's
use them.
what I alluded to in the
Yes.
beginning of this discussion as being a process that's very rewarding. Because
Yes.
at the end, if you can
Right.
make an impact beyond your own research, not an impact on your own research and the publications that you generate, but also on the whole community, and also how the research is going to be translated into a tangible impact on the research
Yes.
community in Morocco. At the end, also on the Moroccan patient as well, because we do
Exactly.
research
Exactly.
on public health and precision medicine. That's what I call having an impact on the community.
Yes, yes.
Beyond having a closed door lab.
Yes, but there's the reason I'm asking this question is because there are 3 things that are very, very important for researchers.
Yes.
The first one is the tech, the things that you need to work. It's extremely important because without that you cannot work. Then you need space, and then you need students.
I would add something else,
Yes.
but go ahead, please.
please.
So yeah, this is really nice. You are
Yes.
really what you said is exactly true.
Yes.
I think if at UM6P here we are blessed that
Yes.
maybe all these three components are probably they are available.
Yes. Yeah.
So we have them. So we said you're really student, good, excellent students. The infrastructure is good. The growth is very exponential.
Yeah.
But there are challenges.
Look at the mice.
No, the animal.
animal facility.
Exactly. So I think for in terms of material and everything, so we are really blessed. Everything is going well, and the growth is exponential. So it's really nice. The problem now is how to manage that growth. So you can imagine. So, but the biggest challenge is still, which is again intrinsic to starting any new stuff within a foreign context, which is again mindset. My colleague Zainab, she said this. So even if we have all the equipment, I think our energy will be spent more in really installing and harmonizing all this diversity, so to create a unique mindset that will allow for all these things to work efficiently.
Yes.
And then we will collect fruits.
Which this is basically we're coming back to what we said earlier.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
create a research environment with UM6P style.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
And training human resources. Sometimes,
Part of
again,
it.
we go back to
Yeah, we need
the
that.
idea of mindset. Sometimes my knowledge, my area of expertise, my property.
Yes.
This is not
This
good
is
for
mindset. This is
research.
still
Generally
mindset,
speaking,
exactly,
we have to share. We have to share equipment. We have to share knowledge
Exactly.
as well.
Yes,
Exactly.
and the training is very, very important because, and this is also something I think people don't realize because basically not everybody goes into a career in research. So people don't realize the amount of technical expertise that you need and that you get because you work 10 years with the same equipment. And this expertise is extremely valuable. And it's hours and hours and hours and hours spent working exactly on the same equipment and doing the experiments, etc. So people have to realize that when they see a researcher, it doesn't matter the researcher.
Yeah.
There's a technical person behind that researcher that does the
Absolutely.
job for the research.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
and
we
yeah.
have to pass that on. I believe you're absolutely right. We have to pass that on
Yes.
to the next generation of
Exactly.
researchers
Exactly.
through mentoring and teaching and training.
Yes, because if we don't have the technical aspect, the technical foundations,
Yeah,
everything we have is useless,
Exactly.
or it's not used at the maximum of
Exactly.
its capacity.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
It becomes a showroom.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it becomes a showroom. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't know who found the equipment in FMS.
No, that's
is
the
it
collab.
UM6?
That's the collab when I talked about the
Okay,
Novasic
so
Express.
it's UM6P.
It's UM6P
Okay.
as well, because when you talk about extremely expensive and
Yes.
capital equipment,
Yes.
it needs to be at the service of everyone.
Yeah.
So having it in a lab behind closed doors might not be the best option, and because research entities will always try to make the maximum output out of the funds that they have. Research throughout the world, I mean, everywhere, you will not find a research entity investing in extremely big equipment.
Yes.
That's a capital equipment for the university.
Yes.
We need shared labs, we need core labs. And luckily UM6P realized that. UM6P, thank goodness, also realized that and invested heavily on the establishment of the core lab.
I'm part of the.
Oh yes, Mustafa, that's true.
The research environment committee.
That's true.
So when it comes to research freedom, what do you think? Is it good enough? Is
By far, yes.
Yes.
At UM6P, I remember when I first came, the president told us that you are free to develop your research access, and I found that exceptional in UM6P. There is a lot of trust in younger researchers, and that's very, very interesting. And then you find your way, given different variables, given the opportunity to work with different collaborators, availability of samples as well. We biologists look for the samples before the research question itself sometimes. And in that aspect, UM6P is exceptionally good in trusting researchers to develop their own research.
You're free to explore
Exactly.
your
Try
subjects
and
of
fail and
interest.
then find what works. Yeah.
For me, it's a story behind this. It's
Yes.
really funny. To be honest, when I came, and I heard about UM6P and the idea, the whole vision that I had in mind, all what we talked about. To be honest with you, I really didn't believe it.
Me neither.
To be honest. For me, it took time for me to convince myself that, yeah, this is possibly true. And of course, when I immersed myself, it's a reward after a reward. So just to tell you the perspective, because again, here I go back again, it's intrinsic to starting a new stuff. So when you start new stuff, you would expect this kind of reaction, this kind of unexpected expectations.
Yes.
So, but it's really going well, and the growth is really magnificent.
Yeah.
I said I'm trying to manage the speed, so which is also a little bit challenging sometimes, but it's really good. I think the freedom and whatever you want to work on, actually, it's and even the conditions are provided, so it's really impressive.
Yes, it's also an experience. A lot of work, but a lot of freedom.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes, which is
In our case, maybe it's a little bit different because there is a criterion that we have to respect in terms of free research doing. Is that the research must have some applications.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. We can do fundamental research, but this fundamental research must gain in terms of TRL and be applied ultimately. Yeah. So this is very, very important. In that way, we can fund the project. We can fund our project. And we have, as department, we have the objective to be autonomous in terms of, because of course we are supported for now, but by UM6P, by OCP, but the goal now as a manager, my goal is to be autonomous ultimately.
Yes.
And this is why the research must goes
Find an application.
for some final application.
Yes. Yeah, it makes sense. Because I wanted to, I wanted to believe in this dream that there's this university. Morocco will get one day a huge university with widely renowned university. So like, okay, I think they're trying to build that.
Yeah, exactly.
So I just gave it a try. The border was closed, so I was like, yes, let's give it a try. And this is how I joined UM6P. But so far, I'm very happy. So far, so good. I'm very happy with my decision. Yes, so in everything, so I'm talking about myself.
No, but this is, I think this is why I said this. I said it really on purpose because I know, and when I talk with others as well, I know that this impression is really dominating, even from people abroad. So it's really dominating. So people, they have some difficulties understanding and then believing in this, in the story, in the dream. So that's why I think it's really nice to really say clearly that, okay, so this is a big vision. We are still really growing. We are growing in the right way. The speed is very phenomenal.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's really a good opportunity for those who want to really venture and then participate in the adventure. I think it's really nice. It's very good conditions for that.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And now it's different because when I joined, I didn't believe, but I wanted to believe.
Yeah, okay, of course, because you want this to be true. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Now it's different.
Yeah,
the campus is more like than 3 times bigger. It's fabulous. It's really growing at an exponential pace.
Exactly.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. It was really great to have this chat with you. I think we've all discovered many things about each other. Yes. Wasn't expected to me because especially for you too, because I see you every day.
We learn things about you as well. Thank you for having us.
It was a pleasure. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. So you can now join us. You can scan the QR code, engage with us, and see you soon.